Okay, let's go.
He wants to jump
1,000 cars. Sir, you have 1,000 cars.
I don't think I'd attempt to try this stunt.
Or we owe this horsepower to Uncle Sam.
Too many cars.
Car. Roses would be.
Like I put my beer belly on it.
If you can't immediately tell somebody how many cars you have,
you'll really give those uppity yuppies something to think about.
Stay on the bar. Don't go off the bar with your Bronco.
1980 Volvo horns, what's right?
Yeah.
I want to have a man's coolant.
And he's like, oh, I thought it'd be small. It's for a small car. And I'm like, yeah, but it's still an automatic transmission. They're never going to be light.
It's definitely going to have to crash.
Starting off with Brad buying another car.
That's the West. Internet.
You know, is this a Nigerian oil print?
I also wish you drove a tan Camry.
Anyways,
Anyway,
that's a
horrible,
very
horrible podcast content.
very
Talking about a picture.
inside joke.
It loves to be driven hard.
All right, welcome to Auto Off Topic.
That is the name of the show.
All right. If it sounds a little bit different, it's because Brad and I are actually live in person. So
Live is not the right word, but we are sitting side by side.
you and I are live together. So
It's true.
This is a live recording.
What is it our friends on the other podcast say? Live to SD card?
Exactly. So might sound a little different. Might sound better. Hopefully there's no lag, because if there's lag in person, that'd be a problem.
And we're drinking seltzer, not alcohol, so no lag. Should be ahead.
Exactly. So yeah.
Yes, I am in Massachusetts
Yeah. Brad came out to visit.
for an unscheduled trip.
So we figured we'd do a podcast at least and get one out, because we didn't do one. Did we do one last
We did one last week. We
I
missed the
don't
week
remember.
before.
That's what it was.
Was it 2 weeks before, I think? Life's been busy, so had a small family issue. So I'm here, and I'll be here for a couple days. So I figured we'd do this way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't get nothing this week.
But we didn't talk about, you want to talk about project cars first? And we'll try to do a little motorsports that we didn't get to talk about last time.
I can if you want to.
All right.
Have you done any project car stuff? I know the answer already.
No.
No.
But I think Saturday, since you're here, it's probably a good time to pull the Webers off and get those chokes unstuck. So that's probably the plan for this weekend. So
I am
had something done to it.
down to help with that. I'm definitely down to help work on cars while I'm here, even though it is sub-zero temperatures outside.
No, it's actually around freezing.
Sub-zero Celsius outside.
0 degrees Celsius.
Which makes sense that we're talking in Celsius, because my project car update is on the 944, which is a Euro market car, and the speedometer is in kilometers. So if it had an outside temperature gauge, it would probably read in Celsius.
Hmm.
So I think I have not talked about this car on the podcast much at all. It hasn't moved out of my yard much at all in probably the last year and a half. Lazy me, I guess. Well, not really. I've done a lot of other stuff. It's just there's so many things to be done, and I hadn't gotten to it yet. But last time I drove it, there was a serious slapping noise in the timing belt area. And I think if you remember, Andrew will definitely remember because he was there, we adjusted the balance belt probably 3.5 years ago when I was making the same noise. So I have decided I'm going to be selling the car. So if anybody's looking for a Euro Market 84,
Well, it doesn't make the noise anymore.
hold on, we gotta get that. That's true. Yeah, this is why it's project cars. I decided I'm going to be selling the car. So if anybody's in the market for a Euro Market 944, 84 Pasha interior, no sunroof, no power steering, Group 4 alloys, paint leaves something to be desired, but has good bones. I decided since I'm going to try to sell the car, I should probably get it up to date on maintenance. And one of the big services on a 944 that really helps sell them is the timing belt. So I did the timing belt last weekend in the 944. I want to give a huge shout out to Josh Mead, a friend of mine from Arizona. I think he's been on the podcast before. And he came over and helped with his expertise because he's like the timing belt whisperer. So between him and I, we had the whole thing knocked out in probably about 3.5, 4 hours. It wasn't that bad, actually.
Did you have to take anything out, like the radio or anything, the fan?
So we took the fan assembly out. So it's a big scary job when you look at it on the internet. Everybody is scared by it. It's a couple of $1,000s in labor if you pay somebody else to do it. Knowing that it only takes about 4 hours of labor, that means these shops are doing pretty well on their install jobs on these. Could be a Porsche tax, I don't know. But I did purchase the special tool set to do the timing belt from, I think I got it from FCP Euro. More than likely, because all the parts came from FCP Euro to do it. Timing belt, balance belt, and all of the pulleys that went on there. I did not do a water pump because the water pump was done last time the timing belt was done. And it's not a 60,000 mile situation with these timing belts. It's a 30,000 or 2 years, they say.
Yeah.
Which is, it seems like it's either they're erring on the side of caution or it's like the P-car nerd decks. Like, you guys are going to have to do this every 2 years because we want to make you spend money every 2 years.
Was it maybe the timing belt material wasn't as good when the car first came out?
I don't know.
It's weird.
And I don't know when the timing belt was last done on the car because I have never done it. I've had the car for this year will be 5 years, I think.
I thought it was done before you got it.
It was done, but
That's why I had to adjust it.
it was done before I got it.
Like an adjustment is like a normal thing within that time period.
So there's multiple adjustment periods within that 30,000 miles. It was done before I got it, but it was done like 2 years before I got it. And it had done multiple multi-day DWA rallies. I know it had been driven all over the West Coast. I know I drove it all over the place. I drove it from where I bought it in Reno from Bradley down to Phoenix, and I drove it all over Phoenix, and I've had it back in LA, and I've had it in, I don't know, all over the place I've driven the car. So, and I don't know how many miles were put on the timing belt before I got it, but I've had the car for going on 5 years, I think, 4 or 5 years. May, I think, is 5 years this year, which is crazy how fast time goes. No, it must be 4 years because I didn't buy the same year I bought the house. So anyway, 4 years this year I've had the car. And my initial plan was 2 or 3 years. So I've had it longer than that, which is part of the reason I decided to sell it. But also, I didn't know how many miles it had been. And if I've had the car for 4 years, and I know Bradley had the car for at least 2 years, maybe 3. Now we're already up to 7 years at that point, right? So 7 years plus however long before that is close to 10 years. And if this is a 30,000 or 2 year belt, I'm well past prime. So when I started making the slapping noise, rather than adjust it again, I decided that it's probably time just to change the belt because it'll help sell the car. And then I can be like, hey, this belt in the car has 100 miles on it. So, and it's 1 month old or whatever it is when the car goes up for sale. So that all went pretty well. You have to drop the cooling fans. We managed to do it without taking any coolant hoses off. So we never interrupted the cooling system, which was nice. You take off the timing cover after that. And nothing else really comes off the front of the motor. The airbox has to come out, which is not a huge deal. So once you get the airbox out, the fans off, the timing cover off. Timing cover is held on by 10 millimeters. And it's a miracle, actually, whatever they made this timing cover out of, because this car has lived almost its entire life in the desert. And the material, the plastic timing cover is made out of was still like very pliable and not broken. Much unlike every Mitsubishi 4G63 timing cover that's just made out of glass, it feels like. So it was very easy to take apart that stuff. Like there was no challenge there at all. It was very familiar when I was in there because, you know, obviously we live in the world of Mitsubishi, right? And one of the connections of this car to the world of Mitsubishi is that Volkswagen Porsche licensed the timing belt technology from Mitsubishi at the time. So a lot of the design is very similar to a Mitsubishi timing belt system. It's not a dual overhead cam car, which is one less complexity to deal with the car. It's just a single overhead cam car. once you get the balance belt off, you go take the timing belt off. Before you get to that point, you find top dead center on the engine, on the compression stroke, and you take the starter out. And this is what was very different from like a Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi, to hold time, you have the little pin for the tensioner.
Yeah.
And then you put that little, like almost like a wheel chock or cam chock in between the cams to hold the cam gears together,
Yeah.
right? So in order to hold time on this, when you take it apart, you take the starter out, and the special tool actually bolts into the starter holes. And it has 3 teeth on it that go into the flywheel, and they hold the flywheel in place so the whole engine can't move while you're working on it. So that was actually fairly simple to do as well. I mean, once you find top dead center, that's easy enough to do. And then you can basically double check all your timing marks. When you're turning the motor over, when you get to top dead center on the compression stroke, there's a mark on the flywheel that you can see through the starter hole. So that was easy to line up. Everything lined up there. Put the bolts on, held the thing in place, and then it's basically just take off old belt, put on new belt. It wasn't anything of any kind of incredible difficulty. The only challenge comes with tension. In order to tension it, they sell tools to measure tension,
Yeah.
but unless you're going to be doing multiple of these, it's kind of cost prohibitive. The tool that Porsche makes is like $1,500. There's a couple out there that are $300 to $500. So either way, it's expensive to do one timing belt job. The kind of backyard, the shade tree mechanic way to do it, or as we used to say, shady tree mechanic way to do it,
Yep.
is take the belt and twist it by hand. I'm giving a twisting motion with my hands, which you can all see through the radio here. And see if it will go beyond 90 degrees of flexation with they say, normal level of pressure. Everybody's normal level of pressure is different, so obviously it's not as accurate as the $1,500 Porsche tool, but within reason, it makes sense. So once you test that flexation, you put the bolts on. Even the tensioner is just a cam gear. The later 944s have a spring-loaded tensioner. Mine doesn't have that because it's an 84, so it just has a concentric bolt on a pulley for a tensioner. So you set all that and bolt back together what you took apart. It was not incredibly difficult. It was one of those things that's like, I was nervous going into it, and that's why I asked Josh if he had time to come by and like just be around to help do it and help with the situation, because I know he's done much more complicated timing belts on European cars. He had recently done a Lancia Delta Integrale, and I figure if he can handle that, he can help me with the 944. So yeah, between the two of us, it took less than 4 hours, and the car fired up on the first try once you put it all back together. So we must have done something right. So I've the biggest job for that car was the timing belt, and now it's done. So I have to order some more parts, but I'm going to go through everything on the car that's maintenance. So it's going to get a fresh oil change. It's going to get plugs, wires, cap, rotor, air filter, fuel filters. I'm going to go through the brakes, and the car is going to be mechanically 100%. And then it's going to go up on the market for sale. So if you're in the market before it goes up publicly, let me know, and I'll give you the auto off-topic listener price. So, which is a legitimate discount based on the way I'm planning on pricing the car. So please let me know.
Yeah.
It is a cool car, and it's the Radwood car, so it has the panache of being the Radwood car, right? So
Provenance.
yeah, the provenance. Yeah, that's what it is. Fancy Porsche guy word.
The the Delta Integrale, you think a Eclipse or a Galant has not a lot of room to do a twin cam time belt. The Delta Integrale has even less.
Yeah, no, it's pretty ridiculous in the engine bay.
Yeah.
So I've been in and around it quite a bit. It's not something I want to work on a regular basis for sure. But the cool thing with 944 is there is tons and tons and tons of room. I would ideally, when I bought the car, my plan was to buy a 924. And I still think that someday in the future I might buy a 924 because they're doing 5-cylinder Volkswagen swaps into them. And there's so much room in there. It's the same engine bay in the 944 and the 924. The 924 is a smaller, lighter car. I think that a naturally aspirated 5-cylinder Golf engine would look really cool and sound really cool and be a huge performance upgrade. And I think that would be a fun project down the line somewhere. Tons of other projects before that, but that's one of those like, you know, desk builds in the back of my head that someday I'd like to do. But yeah, so the car will be for sale. If you know anybody interested, please let me know. This trip kind of got in the way of selling the Mercor that was going on the market this week, but will be going on the market probably not next week. So look out for that as well. So there's 2 cars for sale soon. And then some things will happen, which some people know about and some people don't. But there's another car already on the horizon. So
Of course.
need to make some room. This is a 2-into-1 situation here, which is good. One less car will be nice. So yeah, that's my project car update. The Porsche is well on its way to being ready to sell. So hopefully by next week it'll be. No, I don't want to even say next week because I'm going to get home till early next week, and then
Yeah.
it just isn't going to be enough time. But yeah, it's going to be quickly once everything happens. And then excitingly, Project Garage update. I booked. Naomi and I had some quotes for mini splits for air conditioning for the new garage. And we've booked an install for the 20th of this month. So by this summer, there'll be no reason to not fix cars all summer long. So the projects that I already have and the one that's on its way will continue to be worked on all year now, which is going to be huge. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's like big boy adult stuff. And it makes me very happy that I can make that work because I've never had a climate controlled workspace before. Never really had a workspace of my own before, and now I have a climate controlled one. It's be pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Pretty good stuff. And then on the side, I've also been working on the Tamiya RC cars. So
Nice.
it's been very busy.
Yeah.
Myself going crazy.
I mean, we haven't really done much. We started talking about motorsports that we missed. Like this weekend is Rally Sweden,
Mm-hmm.
but Rally Monte Carlo was not that long ago. It was all very snowy. It was cool. Oliver Solberg won.
Yeah.
Public's son won.
Yep.
All right. That was pretty cool in a Toyota. I watched a little bit of the recap.
It's tough to watch the recaps because the recaps aren't very good.
No.
There's got to be a better way to do it because you watch like a recap of a NASCAR race and it's like a 20-minute recap for 3 hours of
I
content.
probably want you to buy the app, and I don't really feel like buying the app. I just want to watch.
Everything, so much money.
They typically have their YouTube stuff, so I'm trying to get into it more. We didn't really talk much about the Rolex 24. Off the top of my head, Penske won 3rd year in a row.
Yeah. So Snortfest.
But
it was entertaining, right?
the last few laps, I thought the Cadillac had a chance.
See, the Cadillac did have a
He
chance.
made a run for it.
Yeah, he just ran out of tire before the Porsche did.
And Connor Zilch was on that team, which is cool.
Yep.
Um,
NASCAR driver, for those not in the know.
but he's young. He's 19, 20.
Yeah, he's very young.
He's driving for full-time for Trackhouse this year, which brings us to the Clash was last week. It wasn't the weekend. It was in the middle of the week because they had snow. That was the weirdest race where
And then it rained, and they ran rain tires on an oval,
Yeah,
which is the
but-
first time I've ever done that, I think.
I watched it and I was like, they didn't clear enough snow because they left all the snow behind the stands. It was melting. I was like, this is like very New England thing. You have wet,
Wet everything.
and then it's getting colder. I'm like, it's going to turn to ice. Then it started sleeting. It was kind of a mess. Is it Ryan Preece won that?
Ryan Preece won.
Yeah.
Which is his first, I guess you can't really call it a Cup Series victory because it's a non-counted points race, but it's his first Cup Series win of any kind.
Yeah.
So, and he's a local New England boy. So,
I thought he won. I thought he beat. That was Chris Buescher.
yeah, no, he's not. He's not won a Cup race.
I was confusing him with Chris Buescher when he won at Watkins Glen against SVG, but
Nope.
SVG did really well in the rain.
He did. Yeah, he's a master of wet weather driving for sure, especially compared to the rest of them.
But they should really move that race to somewhere else, like a mile track or a mile and a half.
I get why they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted to restore the track. It's a historic track. They did a good thing for the track by restoring the track. But now it was an experiment. They've done it for 2 years. The racing is not super exciting because the track isn't big enough.
No.
They either need a bigger track or they need to give the drivers a special smaller car for the weekend, like
Yeah.
give them a Legends car or a quarter inch car or a sprint cars to run around there or something fun. Would be completely off the wall, but would be interesting to watch.
Yeah. Or just do it somewhere else. But
Or just do it somewhere else. I mean, historically, it's always been at Daytona the week before Daytona or 2 weeks before Daytona.
then it's like that's 3 races at Daytona.
Yeah.
Or 6, I don't know, 3, 4.
Well, it would be the Clash, the
duels.
not twins, and then the Daytona 500, and then the summer race in Daytona too.
Yeah.
So you're right, that's too many.
And they did do the road course a couple years ago. That was pretty cool.
Yep. And they were talking about doing it this year when the rain kept pushing the North Carolina race back. They
Yeah.
talked about just going and running the road course, but they couldn't run the road course because they had just been run for the Rolex, and it would need to be repairs would need to be made. They didn't have time for. That's why they didn't do it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even if they took the Charlotte Roval off, but maybe you do the Clash at the Charlotte Roval.
That would also be cool because I missed the Roval.
Yeah.
They did the Clash a couple of years.
Either way, people will complain about it.
That's true. They did it at LA for a few years, which was cool. Slightly bigger than
Yeah,
Bowman.
the racing was better there.
The racing was better, but the logistics of the preseason race being 3,400 miles away from the first race of the season was kind of dumb. So I think that is probably no longer going to be a thing. So they'll have to find a racetrack that's somewhere in the south because it's February and all the northern tracks are potentially snowy and fans don't want to sit out in 20 degrees and watch the racing.
And they can do Atlanta, even though that's like the 3rd or 4th race of the season. But
There's probably some other old school track out there that's a 3/4 of a mile or a mile long that they could do the race on. And I think that would even do it at Bristol. Like the Clash would fit really well at Bristol.
I think there's still a risk of snow. There's snow in Tennessee.
It was a weird year this year.
Yeah.
It snowed in South Carolina this year too. So it could have snowed in Daytona for all we know this year. It was a weird year on the East Coast. Quite the opposite in Phoenix, where it's been overly warm, but yeah, it was a weird year on the East Coast. So we'll let that slide.
Which brings us to, we're recording this week before Daytona, and we watched qualifying last night. Surprisingly, so Kyle Busch is on the pole.
Yep.
This is his first apparently, or his only second super speedway pole ever.
It's his first Daytona pole ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Daytona 500 pole. He said he got one for the summer race once.
Okay.
So
500
now
pole.
tonight, after we have dinner, after this podcast, we're gonna watch the duels. So it's cool. So they set the front row. So you've got Kyle Busch and oh my gosh, what is his name? He just started driving a JGR. Took what's his name? The 19 car.
Oh yeah, he's in Martin Truex's car. That guy.
Why am I blank on his name? I hate.
Because there's 43 regular
So
season
bad.
drivers, and it's
Yeah.
hard to remember names.
And he drove for Tony Stewart.
Yeah.
Stewart House Racing. Oh my gosh, so dumb. I can't remember this.
Chase Briscoe.
Chase Briscoe.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I just looked that up.
Yeah, I don't know why I just blanked on that. But
I every time I say 19 car, I just think Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah.
because it was his for years.
so now they're gonna run the duels tonight, and the duels will set the starting positions for everybody else.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, it's weird how they do that. It's the only race they do qualifying different for like that.
It's a bigger race.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting because you'll watch Kyle Busch go out. Maybe he'll lead one lap and then just get
Crash.
off.
Yeah.
So he doesn't crash. But yeah, that's a pretty cool.
But he'll crash because that's all he does lately.
Yeah.
Is crash.
And then,
Plus, he's driving a nicotine pouch sponsored car, so you just want to see it crash. Like,
Well-
dumb sponsorship.
Jimmy Johnson is there, so he'll also crash. So,
That's true. He'll take out Kyle Busch. It's fine.
so yeah, then you get the Daytona 500 on Sunday. So yeah, that should be fun. You'll at least be here. We can watch that.
Yeah, no, I actually was going to come out just for the 2 or 3 days I had to, and then I was like, oh, it's Daytona weekend. I should stay
Yeah.
for the weekend.
Someone will solidly be into racing season.
Of course, that also means I'm missing the Fountain Hills Concourse in Fountain Hills, Arizona, which I was looking forward to, but haven't found a way to be 2 places at once yet. So
Yeah.
I'll figure that out eventually. So if you're in Arizona this weekend, on the 14th, which is Saturday, right? Valentine's Day Saturday.
Yep, it is.
That is the day of the Fountain Hills Concourse,
Yeah.
which is one of the biggest car shows in the Phoenix area. So if you're in the Arizona area, check that out. It's a good time. There's a lot of cool cars there. Concourse is kind of a misnomer. It's not a concourse. That's a non-judged show. It requires pre-registration, but it's not a stuffy concourse. Everything. There's a class for every car. So they don't turn away anybody, as evidenced by there was a Kia there last year with a sticker bomb fender. So
Nice.
most of it's not that. And if that guy listens, I'm sorry, your car sucks.
Maybe the Shinkansen van will be there
Shinkansen van.
from Japanese Car Day.
Oh, yes, that's right, too. You guys had a lame one, too. I forgot.
So the van that was painted up like a
It's a
bullet
Toyota
train.
Sienna van with some stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good time if you're in Phoenix, Arizona area. Check it out. It's all day. It's a cool setting. It's the Fountain Hills Fountain Park. It's the tallest water fountain in the West Coast or something, or west of the Mississippi, or it fires off every hour on the hour, and it's like a multiple 100-foot tall water fountains.
It's like Old Faithful, but man-made.
Yeah, it's man-made Old Faithful. Yeah, I like that. But it's a cool spot. And they fly in, like the military flies in helicopters, and they have a display of helicopters, and it's a neat show. I like to go to that one every year, but not this year because I'm here, but watching NASCAR, so I'll be into it.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's it. This is a short one.
this is a short one this week because we get a lot of stuff going on.
But at least we wanted to get a podcast out.
We did promise RC car content. We're not delivering RC car content right now.
We're going to do RC stuff together at least because you're here. So we'll talk about that again next week.
But
recap that.
I'm sure nobody's disappointed that we're not doing RC car content.
No.
So that's just for us.
No. We're going to go
We know that.
to my local drift track tomorrow night.
Yep.
And Brad can try it out. And
Yeah, I'm excited because I haven't done RC drifting yet. I
Yeah.
have the RC drift chassis to build.
Yep.
Which, cart for the horse. I have the stuff to do before I have ever done it. But
you'll like it.
I know I'll like it, so it's fine.
So yeah, then we'll talk about it next week.
Excellent.
So yeah, message us. You can get on our Discord. Follow us Off Topic Podcast on Facebook, Instagram. I'm Racing Anger on Instagram. Brad, where can they find you?
You're letting me do it this week?
Yeah.
Last week you cut me off before I got a chance to.
Well, you like dropped out.
Oh, that's true too. All right. It wasn't my fault though. That was the car crash in front of your house.
Yeah.
Which we forgot to talk about
Oh yeah,
because we have to talk about every car crash that happens in front of your house.
yeah.
The car crash in front of your house when there was like the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
It knocked out your internet.
I think they bumped the pole.
Up the pole, knocked out your internet for like a few seconds.
Yeah.
And you lost me for a few seconds because I never lost my internet. Anyway, what were we talking about? My Instagram, TSISS350. You could actually message me there if you're interested in buying a Porsche 944
Yeah.
or a Mercor XF4 Ti, or I don't know, make me an offer on anything that's a crazy offer and I'll sell it. But those are the two I'm really selling.
Yeah.
So that's it.
All right. So as always, keep your cars analog and aim for the roses.